Buying a home doesn't feel harder because prices went up. It feels harder because everything happens faster now. Homes disappear faster, decisions feel rushed, and somehow, even with more information than ever, buyers still feel late. That's not an accident. Right now, more people than ever are using AI to help buy their homes. They're asking questions, running comparisons, analyzing prices, and trying to make smarter decisions using AI. On the surface, that sounds like progress. Better tools should mean better outcomes. But housing isn't a normal market. You can't just increase supply quickly. Every home is unique, and decisions, those are driven as much by emotion as they are by math. So the real question isn't whether AI helps buyers research homes, it's what happens when everyone gets confident at the same time. Because AI doesn't just inform buyers, it compresses decision making. It removes hesitation, it shortens timelines, and in a market with limited supply, speed doesn't create savings, it creates pressure. And once you understand how that pressure builds, you'll see why buying a home feels harder now, even when prices and rates don't fully explain it. Now stay with me here for a second, because the most important part of this story comes up in just a minute. It explains why doing more research can actually hurt buyers in today's housing market, and what that means going forward. So why do people assume AI would lower housing prices? Well, let's start with the intuition most people have on this. Technology usually makes things cheaper. For example, think about Amazon lowering prices by reducing friction. Travel sites made flights more competitive, and Zillow made listings easier to find. So it feels logical when a new technology comes out that AI would help. See, think about it like this. If AI helps buyers analyze homes better, prices should come down if buyers are making the right decision. But that assumption only works in markets where supply can respond. And housing is not one of those markets. You can't instantly build more homes. You can't duplicate a listing. And sellers don't even have to participate in this. Which leads to the first uncomfortable truth. In housing, better information doesn't reduce competition, it concentrates it. And AI is the most powerful information concentrator we've ever introduced into the market. And here's where it starts to get counterintuitive. AI doesn't change what homes cost, it changes which homes everyone wants at the same time. And that distinction matters more than most people even realize. Let's get specific about what AI actually does and what it doesn't do. AI is very good at a number of things: comparing prices, summarizing comps, explaining market language, highlighting good value, quote unquote, and reducing uncertainty. AI makes buyers feel informed faster. But here's the key limitation. AI doesn't predict the future. It predicts relevance based on past patterns. In other words, AI tells you what usually happens, not what's about to happen next. And that's fine in slow, predictable markets, but it's dangerous in fast, competitive ones. Because the moment AI labels something as fairly priced or a good value, that home becomes a target. And once a home becomes a target, something subtle happens that most buyers never see. It stops being evaluated independently. So how does AI change buyers' behavior? Before AI became mainstream, buyers hesitated. They asked friends, they second-guessed themselves, they waited for confirmation, or they just completely missed out on opportunities. AI removes that friction. Now buyers feel more confident, more justified, and more certain, and it feels even more urgent than ever. And that all sounds great until you realize something important. Everyone is becoming confident at the same time. AI doesn't create independent thinkers. It synchronizes decision making. And when decision making synchronizes in a supply-constrained market, competition spikes. This is the moment where AI quietly flips from helpful to pressure amplifying. Here's the part that confuses a lot of people. AI doesn't add buyers, it doesn't add income, and it doesn't lower rates. So how can prices rise? Because prices are set at the margin. They're set by the winning bid. When AI speeds up confidence, buyers submit offers sooner, sellers receive multiple offers faster, bidding wars escalate earlier, and buyers can waive contingencies quicker. The winning price rises, not because buyers have more money, but because hesitation disappears. And in housing, hesitation is often the only thing that keeps prices in check. And this doesn't affect all homes equally, which is where things get even more interesting. So which homes are most affected? So AI doesn't heat up the entire market equally. It overheats specific segments. The most affected segments are starter homes, fairly priced listings, popular neighborhoods, homes that look good on paper, and listings with clean comps. Because AI is best at pattern matching. The less affected homes, overpriced homes, unique or quirky properties, luxury listings, or homes needing major work. That's why buyers feel like everything good disappears instantly while bad listings just sit. AI doesn't fix inefficiency, it intensifies it. And now we get to the part most people never realize is happening. AI recommendations tend to converge. The same filters, same rankings, same best listings, same urgent language. So buyers feel independent, but they're reacting to the same signals. And here's the uncomfortable truth. AI makes buyers feel smarter while quietly making them more similar. And similarity is what creates herd behavior. That's why certain homes get flooded, others get ignored, prices feel irrational, and buyers feel constantly late. And now here's where this starts to divide buyers into winners and losers. Who benefits the most from AI in housing? AI disproportionately helps experienced buyers, investors, repeat homeowners, people comfortable ignoring signals, and buyers who know when not to act. And it hurts first-time homebuyers, risk-averse buyers, people seeking certainty, buyers waiting for confirmation, and anyone who needs validation before acting. Because AI rewards decisiveness, not caution. So, is AI the problem, or is it just revealing something deeper? Is AI the cause or the accelerator? This is where the conversation usually goes wrong. Because the moment you say AI might be pushing prices higher, people immediately hear something else. They hear AI caused the housing crisis, AI broke the market, or AI is the villain. That's not what's happening. So let's slow this down, because this distinction matters. AI did not create the housing shortage, it did not create housing demand, and it did not raise mortgage rates. Those problems have existed for years, even decades. The housing market was already fragile before AI showed up. Inventory was already tight, buyers were already competing emotionally, affordability was already stretched. So AI didn't start the fire, what it did was remove the fire breaks. See, before AI became part of the search and decision process, buying a home was slower. Not necessarily easier, but definitely slower. Buyers had to talk to multiple people, compare listings manually, sit with uncertainty, sleep on decisions, or miss out on some opportunities. And that friction acted like a buffer. It created pauses. And in housing, pauses are important. Pauses allow for emotions to cool, buyers to drop out, sellers to adjust expectations, or competition just to thin naturally. Those pauses were never intentional, but they kept the market from accelerating too fast. AI didn't suddenly give buyers more money. What it did was remove hesitation. It compressed the timeline between seeing a listing, feeling confident, and submitting an offer. What used to take days now can take just hours. And when every buyer shortens that timeline at the same time, you don't get balance, you get pressure. AI didn't change the destination, it changed the speed. And speed is dangerous in a market that already can't expand. And here's the tricky part. Nothing about this feels dramatic. There's no single moment where buyers say, "Oh, AI just changed everything." Instead, they say things like, why are homes selling so fast? Why does everything feel more competitive? And why does it feel harder even though I'm more prepared than ever? That confusion comes from acceleration without awareness. The system feels hostile, but no one can point to why. That's why this conversation matters. This is the most counterintuitive part. You can have flat prices, stable rates, and no new buyers entering the market, and still feel more pressure than ever before. Because pressure doesn't come from numbers alone. It comes from how fast decisions happen, how quickly competition appears, and how little time buyers feel they have. And with AI shortening that decision window, shorter windows just increase stress, and stress increases escalation. And escalation pushes prices even when nothing on paper changed. So why is this especially dangerous in housing? In most markets, speed is good. In housing, speed is destabilizing because homes are emotional purchases. Buyers anchor to a narrative because of these reasons. And that's because homes are emotional purchases, buyers anchor to narratives, sellers react to momentum, and winning bids become new comms. Once speed increases, feedback loops form. See, a home sells quickly, buyers feel urgency, the next home gets more offers, winning price rises, and new comps justify the next price increase. AI didn't create that loop, it just tightened it. This is why AI feels helpful and harmful at the same time. AI is helpful. It helps buyers understand terminology, compare options, avoid obvious mistakes, and just overall feel informed. But at scale, helpfulness becomes amplification. When millions of buyers ask similar questions, receive similar answers, and feel confident at the same time, the market doesn't become smarter, it becomes louder. And that's the paradox. And this is not a bubble argument. Bubbles require excess credit, overbuilding, speculation, or easy leverage. That's not what's happening today. What's happening is simply compression, compressing timelines, decision making, and patience all at once. And that creates more competition for each listing, faster escalation, and less room for error. That's not a bubble, that's just a pressure cooker. And this is what you need to hear. Here's the line that will make some people uncomfortable, but it's completely honest. AI didn't make housing unfair. It exposed how fragile fairness already was. Housing was already a market where speed mattered, access mattered, and confidence mattered. AI just made those advantages clearer. And once advantages become clearer, they just compound. So if AI isn't the cause, and it isn't the villain, then the real question becomes, what does this mean for buyers who are trying to navigate a market that's moving faster than ever? That's where the real takeaway lives. Because the goal isn't to avoid AI, it's to understand when speed helps and when speed quietly works against you. Which brings us to what buyers need to understand going forward. Housing today isn't just about prices and rates. It's about access, speed, information advantage, and timing psychology. AI can help you understand the market, but it can also pull you into the same decisions as everyone else. In a market with limited supply, speed doesn't create savings, it creates pressure. The buyers who win won't be the ones who use AI the most, they'll be the ones who understand what AI is actually doing and when to slow down instead of speeding up. AI didn't make homes more expensive by itself. It changed how fast people compete for the same homes. And once competition speeds up, prices don't need a reason to rise. They just need fewer pauses.